Hey coaches, Coach Simpson, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time coming here, feel free to look around. There's plenty of videos on all things football, whether they're offense, defense, or in this case, just general coaching knowledge that I hope can help the coaching community. I'm no expert, but I'm a guy who's been around, made a lot of mistakes, and maybe this can help you in your journey as a coach. So if you haven't already done so, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to this channel. Feel free to look around. My goal is to continue to grow this and maybe help coaches to grow in their profession. If you want specific information, today I'll be talking about practice organization, but I have plenty of materials that are all available at fbcoachsimpson.com. You just go to the download section. Some are like $2. I've got free ones on there as well, but different materials that may be able to help in your coaching walk. Or feel free just to reach out to me by commenting in this video. And if we get done and you've enjoyed what you've seen, if you like the video, I appreciate that as well. So we're going to talk about practice organization. I think that's probably, if you're coaching right now, something that'll be brief and quick, but maybe it'll be able to help you as you organize your practices. That's something that I've really tried to streamline and to make as efficient as possible. I'm a big guy on being efficient in what we're doing. You know, we're asking kids to be out there. We have a game on Friday, so we want fresh legs. But we also have to be prepared to play that game, or fresh legs won't matter. And so how can we be efficient in our practice time, not waste time on drills that don't really matter for us winning and losing? So that's kind of how I organize practices. You know, we look at what do we need to be successful to win this game, what fits our system inside of drills. This is not a drill video, but it's something that you do need to think about as a coach and really question, is that 5 minutes of whatever going to help us win or lose the game? And if the answer is not definitely yes, take it out of your practice schedule. Because what you should be doing at this point in the season should be directly involved with helping you win games either this week or 3 weeks from now as conference or big games start to come around. This is not the time to be doing drills you might have done back in the off season or even in the spring. These are drills that need to get your kids ready to help them win that next game or the games following. On that note, as you're organizing your practice, the first thing you need to ask is, one, how many coaches do you have? What is their ability level? Hopefully at this point, you have coached up your coaches, if you're a coordinator or a head coach, to where they understand the expectations of the drills you're doing. If you have not already put together a drill book, you need to have at least a sit-down conversation every Sunday. This ought to happen of, here's what I think we need to do to win the game. And then that's where the coaching staffs can hopefully help each other. What drills do we need to do to accomplish this, which hopefully are coming out of a bank you've already been doing. You don't need to be reinventing the wheel at this point, I hope. But go ahead and get those drills and then make sure we're scheduling our practice for that. And we'll get into how you schedule your practice. But it doesn't matter your ability for coaches, and so most are different situations. We may have 10 coaches, we may have 3, we may have 2. So you need to understand that that's how we're going to organize our practices to try to maximize our coaches' ability. It doesn't matter if you have 10 coaches. If you practice inefficiently, you might as well just have 2 or 1. So making sure you're using your coaches to the best of their ability, which means you've got to talk to them ahead of time. Explain the drills you're wanting done, why the drill needs to be done, what you're trying to accomplish with the drill, and then make sure you are watching them do the correct things with their players. So learning to delegate is important, but you can't delegate to somebody you've never taught. So it's a kind of a fine balance. On to practice organization, you need to look at the structure of your practice. Your practice ought to work from slower to faster, in my opinion. So that, in my opinion, we need to have a lot of, if we're going to have talking times, I don't like it on the field. I think that should be done in meeting rooms or during film. But we're not all in the same situation. It may have to take place on the field. If that is the case, it needs to take place early in practice. So that by the time we're into team, which is at the end of practice, we're moving a lot quicker. So the speed of practice ought to pick up, in my opinion. Individual drills, a couple notes on that. I've already kind of mentioned, make sure these are drills that are going to help you win games. Not drills you saw on the internet. Good example, you're a wing T team and you're working on pass pro. Well, you need to really ask yourself, how often are we using that? And if the answer is not very often, then you probably don't want to be using that drill in the season. So drills that are going to show up on Friday night. I tell my coaches to think about what's the number one drill they've got to have, and then we add one, and we might add one more. So let's live in that world, and if we get to the extras, then we'll get to the extras. A good example would be like fumble recovery. Is that an important drill on defense? Absolutely. Do we need to teach that? Yes, we do. Do we need to spend 5 minutes every single day doing that? Probably not. We need to work on drills in proportion to how often they're used. So if you're an offensive line coach, let's work the skill set that matches the scheme we're doing. Okay? We do pod work. So indie work for us will be obviously depending on how many coaches you have. How much can you break them up? The more the better. There's a reason having lots of coaches that know what they're doing and being on the same page is a huge advantage. Because that kid now knows he's being coached every rep and you have eyes on him. So the more you can separate your offense, the better. That's not always easy, but it is efficient. Okay, but we're going to work on drills that are going to help us win games. We're going to let them go to their position coach where they can be coached up. Where we try to do film with that same coach so that those kids, one, they form a relationship there. Two, I know they're being coached up really, really well. And then that way it's not one guy watching 11. Okay. Pod work is something that we do a little unique. It's not that we're the geniuses of the world here or anything, but we have found that we teach certain skill sets with certain coaches. For example, I have a tight ends and a wings coach, and he does a great job with them. But when it comes to catching a ball, I would prefer those guys go to my receiver coach and get that work. When it comes to my running backs blocking, I would prefer they go with the tight end and wingback coach because he is more comfortable in that world. When it comes to offensive lineman blocking in space, I would prefer they go with a different coach than my offensive line coach. It's not that those guys can't do that, but let's be efficient, and that's kind of where our pods come from, where we're working maybe different skill sets that guys have to have. We try to make sure we know what every position needs skill-wise, and that we work that heavily in that pod section. So you may see, if you come watch us practice, a time where guards and running backs go together. We do a lot of pin-pull type stuff, so our guards and running backs need to kind of be together. Okay, our wing backs and H-backs may be together on some pods. Some pods we may have our H-backs over there with our receivers, or our H-backs with our guards, or our H-backs with our running backs. So they move based on the skill we're trying to teach. That's usually a pod period. So we have 45 minutes to practice offense. We're going to do about 10 to 15 of indie, 5 to 10 of pod, depending on how much indie time we take. And then group time. Group time is pretty traditional. That could be an inside run period where we're sending our linemen, maybe tight ends and H-backs, half of them are going down there working that. Running backs, half of them are going down there working that. And sending our quarterbacks, and we're sending our receivers over to do pass. It could be a screen period. It could be 7-on-7. It could be whatever we're working on that day. That's a traditional kind of deal. Inside of that, we're starting to introduce situations. Okay, guys, we may be doing red zone run game, or we might be doing red zone pass game, or we could be doing screen periods into the boundary, screen periods into the field, third down pass plays. So we're starting to introduce situations as we get to that point. And when we get to team, we want to be full situational. Now, Monday, we may have to be kind of introducing a few things for our kids. But after that, we want to be pretty much, anytime we snap a ball in team offense or defense, we're working a situation. It could be red zone, it could be left hash, it could be right hash, it could be third down long, it could be fourth down shorts, it could be second down and shot plays, it could be kind of gimmick plays, but we're working something every time we're snapping the ball, so our kids are constantly thinking like this is a game. That also allows us on Thursday, when we go through all of our plays, say, guys, these are our third down plays. When we work these on Tuesday, we hit them again on Wednesday. These are our red zone plays. These are our 2-point plays. These are plays we've now worked either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, sometimes 2 days. And now we're going to hit them again on Thursday. So we get into the game, our kids are very, very comfortable understanding that this is what we're going to do in these situations. So it's one thing for the coach to kind of know, here's what we're doing in the red zone. It's a completely different story, and I found our kids have been so much more responsive when they have input and they see what we're going to do, the confidence tends to go up. Hopefully, this has been something that maybe can help you as you organize your practices. I know we're all in the meat of the season, so best of luck to you. If you would like to actually see practice schedules I've got, or I've got a practice organization kind of video, more in detail, PowerPoint that goes through different things, that's going to be over my website, fbcoachsimpson.com. If you're a member of my website, you're getting all this stuff and a whole lot more for not very much. Appreciate your time. If you haven't already done so, I'd appreciate it if you'd like this video. Maybe comment if you got a question. Thanks.